Hello viewers, welcome to UNC Digital class. In today's class, I am going to discuss about the history of cloud computing, architecture and different components of cloud computing. So let's see history of cloud computing. So before we go for the history of cloud computing, before that we have client and server computing, and which is basically a centralized storage and in which all the software applications, all the data and all controls are reside on the server side, and according to the client request, server will provide the service. That is what is client server computing. But if a single user want to access some specific data or run a program, then in that case he or she need to connect the server and gain appropriate access, and then he or she can do his business. Okay? But our aim is how the cloud computing came. Then after that the distributed computing is came, and where all the computer network are together and share their resource when needed. That means a particular work is distributed among number of computers, and according to the requirement the systems are executed. On the basis of distributed computing, there was emerged of cloud computing concept and which were implemented in later time. And in around 1961, John McCarthy suggests in a speech at MIT that computing can be sold like utility, just like water or electricity. That means how much electricity the user consume, for that, based on that the user will pay. That is the utility computing. And in 1999, Salesforce.com started delivering an application to the user using a simple website, and the application were delivered to the enterprises over internet, and this way the dreams of computing sold as utility were true. Okay? And in 2002, Amazon started another Amazon Web Service providing service like storage, computation, even human intelligence. However, only starting with launch of the Elastic Computer Cloud in 2006, a truly commercial service open to everybody to existed. And after that, in 2009, Google Apps also started to provide cloud computing enterprises application. Then after, again at the same year in 2009, Microsoft launched Windows Azure, and companies like Oracle, HP have all joined the game, and this proved that today cloud computing has become the mainstreams of use. Okay? And of course, we can say in 2009, Google App also started to provide cloud computing enterprises applications, and all the big players are present in the cloud computing evolution are introduced the cloud concept. So this is all about history, how the cloud computing reach at this point. Next we will know what is the architecture of cloud computing. The cloud computing architecture is divided into following two parts, that is front end and back end. So this is the structure of the cloud computing. This is the front end, that is client infrastructure, and this is the back end where application, service and runtime cloud, storage, infrastructure, management and security are there. The front end and back end are communicate through the internet. So what is front end? The front end is used by client. It contains client side interface and application that are required to access the cloud computing platform. Okay? So this is the client side, and these are the service. These are present at the back end, and according to the client request, these services are provided. That is known as the front end. Front end include the web server including Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer. These are the web browsers through which we can access the services of the cloud. That means those are present at the back end. And thin and fat client and tablet mobile devices are also used to access the back end services of the cloud computing. And back end means it is used by the service provider, those are providing the cloud service. It manages all the resources which are present in the client and that are required to provide to the cloud computing service as per the requirement of the client. It includes a huge amount of data storage, security mechanism, virtual machine, deploying model, server, traffic control mechanism, etc. You can see this is the architecture, this is the client infrastructure side through the web browser or different web browser, that means Chrome, Firefox, through which user can access the services of the cloud. Those are present at the back end of the system, that is application, service, runtime cloud, storage and infrastructures. Okay. Then next we will know what are the different components of cloud computing architecture. First one is your client infrastructure, that is the front end component. It provides the GUI, that is graphical user interface, to interact with the cloud. And second component is the application. The application, which may be any software or platform that used by the client or that will be used when the client want to access the cloud services. And what are the different service? That means the cloud service which manage which type of service access according to the client requirement, and cloud provide these three different types of service, that is software as services SaaS, platform as services PaaS, infrastructure as services, that is IaaS. So what do you mean by software as services? It is also called as the cloud application services, and basically this application run directly through the web browser, means we don't require to download it or install it. It simply run through any web browser, and some important SaaS are Google Apps, Salesforce, Dropbox, Slack, HubSpot. These are the some software as service, those are provided by the cloud through the web browsers. Next service, that is platform as a service or PaaS. It is also known as cloud platform service. It is quite similar to SaaS, but what is the difference between SaaS and PaaS? SaaS provide different applications or run different applications directly through the web browser, where PaaS provide a platform for software creation. To create that software which is provided by SaaS, we are using PaaS, but using SaaS we can access the software over internet without need of any platform. That means PaaS used to provide a platform to create the software, and for executing that software we are using SaaS. And what are the different PaaS are there? Windows, Azure, Force.com, Magneto Commerce Cloud, OpenShift. These are the some example of PaaS. Then last service, that is infrastructure as a service. It is also known as cloud infrastructure services, and the responsible of this service is for managing applications data, middleware and runtime environments. So these are the services which is provided by the cloud. The next component of the cloud computing is runtime cloud. Runtime cloud provides the execution and runtime environment to the virtual machines. That means those machines are run virtually. This runtime cloud provide the execution and runtime environment to those machines. Then storage is the second component. It is one of the most important component of cloud computing, which provide huge amount of storage capacity in the cloud to store and manage the data. That means when user not having enough storage area, sufficient memory, in that case user can use the storage service which is provided by any cloud service provider. That is the another most important components of the cloud, that is storage. Then next one is your infrastructure. It provides services on host level, application level as well as in the network level. That means it include any hardware, software components such as server, storage, network devices, virtualization, software and other storage resources that are needed to support cloud computing model. That is, infrastructure is one of the most important topic or most important component in the cloud, which provide different server, storage, networks devices, virtualization software and other storage resources. The next component, that is management. It is used to manage the components such as application, service and runtime cloud, storage, infrastructure and other security issues in the background. That means whatever with the component we just discuss, that is the services, runtime cloud, storage, infrastructure and other security issues, those all are managed by the management cloud computing component, which manage the security issues in the backend of the cloud and establish a coordination between the backend and the front end. Okay? That means according to the client request, whatever be the service present at the backend, that will be provided or that will be managed by the management component of the cloud computing. Next one is your security. It is a built-in back-end component of cloud computing. It implements a security mechanism in back-end of the cloud. Then next one is the internet. It is the medium through which front-end and back-end can be interact and communicate with each other. That means through internet, the front end and back end are communicate and the back end provides service and front end getting the services of the cloud. Then we will be know about how does the cloud computing work. So cloud computing, how it work? Suppose let assume that you are an executive at a big corporations and you have a particular responsibility to include, make sure that all your employees have right hardware and software. They need to do their jobs. That means you are a boss or executive of a big corporation and your responsibility is that you will be sure that all the employees of your organization must have the right hardware and software to complete or execute their job. So it is difficult to provide everyone or to buy computer for everyone is not enough or not possible. So in that case, you also have to purchase software as well as software license and then provide this software to the employees as per their required. And similarly, it is not possible to provide all the hardware requirements and software requirements to each and every employee of the organization to successfully complete their jobs. And in that case, whenever you are trying to hire a new employee, you need to buy more software and to make sure that your current software license allow another users. That means day by day when you hire new employee, you will purchase new software and the license as like other hardware and softwares. And it is so stressful that you have to spend lots of money to purchase the hardware and software when you hiring a new employee or to successfully complete the job. So in that case, we may search or you may search some alternative for complete the job successfully. So instead of installing a suite of software for each computer or to providing software to each and every employee, you just need to load one application and that application will allow the employee to log in into the web-based service which hosts all program of the user that required for his or her job. That means this one is the client computer, this is the control node we have already discussed about when we discussed the structures. This is the database structure and application server, and when you just need to load one application and that application will allow the employee to log in into the web-based service which hosts all the program for the user that is required for completing his or her job. So in that case, the remote server owned by another company and that will run everything from email to word processing or to complex data analysis program, we call it as cloud computing. That means by using cloud computing, we can process or we can do any job, any complex data analysis without hiring any software or their license, and it could change the entire computer industry if we are using cloud computing. And we can say in cloud computing there is a significant workload shift and the total computer have no longer to do all the heavy lifting when it comes to run applications. That means when there is number of computer networks and it is difficult to execute this. So, local computer has no longer to do all the heavy lifting when it comes to run the applications, but cloud computing can handle that much of heavy load easily and automatically. That means how many employees in the organization and whatever be the software and hardware required, that all are managed by the cloud computing. That means we can say the hardware and software demands the user side decrease, and only things the user computer required to able run and is the cloud computing interface software of the system, which can be as simple as a web browser, and the cloud network takes care of the rest. So, this is all about how the cloud computing work. So, next we will discuss about cloud computing application. The cloud service provider provide various applications in the field of art, business, data storage backup, education, entertainment, management and in social networking side. So, first we will be discuss the art application, design of attractive card, booklets and images. So, first one is your Move, which is the one best cloud art application that used for printing a business card or designing a business card, postcard and mini cards. Next one is the Vista Print, which is used to print the wedding invitation, business card, postcard, booklets, etc. Then next one is the Adobe Creative Cloud, which is made for designer, artist and filmmaker and other creative professionals, and which suite for the apps which include the Photoshop, image editing programming, Illustrator, InDesign, Typekit. For that we are using the Adobe Creative Cloud. Next one is your business application in cloud, which based on the cloud service provider, which ensure the business application of 24/7 available to the user. The applications are MailChimp, that is an email publishing platform, which provide various options to design, send and save templates for emails, sales, service, marketing, e-commerce and more. It also provides the cloud development platform. And some another business applications are Chatter, which helps to share important information about the organization in a real time, and PayPal, which offers the simplest, easiest online payment mode, which is very popular among the user, using a secure internet account which accept the payment through debit card as well as credit card and also from PayPal account holders. Okay. Then Bitrix24, which is collaboration platform which provide the communication management and social collaboration tools. Next, Slack, that stands for searchable log of all conversation and knowledge. It provides a user friendly interface that helps us to create public and private channel for the communication. And the last business application is QuickBooks, which work on terminology of run enterprise anytime, anywhere, on any device. It provides online accounting solution for business and it allows more than 20 users to work simultaneously in the same system. So, today we have discussed about how the cloud computing is working and what are the architecture of the cloud computing, what are the different components of cloud architecture and some of the cloud component applications. And we have seen that the cloud architecture is based on the front end and back end concept. The front end is executed by the client or users, and the services those are present in the back end that are provided to the client according to the client request through some web browsers. So, this all about today class, and in next class we will be see rest of the applications of cloud computing. Till then, keep watching. Thank you.